Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
So welcome back to episode 2 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. So last week we posted our first episode and we've had an amazing response. So thank you everybody who's downloaded, who's watched it and all that kind of stuff. We had over 450 views on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. We were only expecting about 100.
Yeah, we were, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Thank you for that.
And more excitingly, actually, we reached number 35 in the Apple podcast chart. To do with football, obviously.
Yeah, just football.
Just
not in the whole Apple podcast chart. That would be
amazing. So thank you to everybody who's, like I said, who's downloaded it, watched it, and taken the time out to comment on our Facebook page and everything like that. So yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, straight into it. So new signings from this week. Sam Dalby, first one. We talked about this one last week. We knew this was coming. He'd already been pictured at the club. Okay signing, young lad, hadn't really came from Southend.
He did come from Southend, yep.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one. I can't see him getting loads of game time, but you know,
time will tell.
Time will tell. We will see. Second one, which came in also on Monday, I believe. Yep. That was Jacob Mendy, come from Boreham Wood. I've got to be honest, this came completely out of the blue. I think a lot of the transfers, you know, we know some people sort of in and around the club and things like that, and you sort of hear little whispers. I heard nothing about this one. Absolutely nothing. It completely blindsided me.
World's best kept secret.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. There may be some of you out there who did know, but I didn't know at all. Good addition. I think he's got a decent bit of pace. I think he'll be good for us. And the third one this week was Rory Watson. It was a necessity rather than actually somebody that we wanted to go out and sign.
I'm sure that makes Rory feel really special.
It does, yeah. Sorry, Rory, if you're listening. But it was a necessity. And it's a big thanks to him, really, for stepping in. I think he last played for Scunthorpe.
Scunthorpe, yeah.
And he stepped in just as a short-term fix for us. And we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. We had a new contract this week as well, didn't we?
We did.
Yes. So Paul Mullins signed a new 1-year extension to his deal with the option for another year as well.
So he's with us until at least 2025, I believe.
2025, which is amazing news.
Yes.
Really good. Really happy with that. And we had one departure this week, which was Jake Hyde going the other way. Sam Dalby's come in. Jake Hyde's gone the other way. Only on loan. So he's still our player. He's just gone out on loan to Southend. Unfortunately for him, he didn't have a great debut yesterday, did he? I think he lasted 9 minutes and he got taken off injured. Look, all Wrexham fans know about Jake Hyde. I'm sure he could be a great player. But I think he had more games injured for us than he actually played in the end.
Sad, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sad. He seems like a nice guy. I will be honest, I saw some of the first pictures that Southend released of him signing. He looked furious. He did. He didn't look... There's some other ones where he's smiling, but he looked furious. Like, what the am I doing in Essex?
So maybe the injury is a blessing in disguise for him.
Maybe he'll head back up now. I don't know, but it's it's not a great bit of business for Southend.
No.
Weirdly, talking about injuries, we're going to do injury watch.
Injury watch.
Hopefully, we're not going to have to do this many times this season. But we obviously had a game against Carnarvon, which we lost 2-0. More importantly, our backup keeper, I suppose you'd call it. So Christian Dibble left the game on crutches. Ended up going to hospital. I've seen him in a leg brace in a couple of pictures. Parky said it's very serious. So what that means, I don't know. But I can't see him coming back anytime soon. We got Langton still out as well, which I've heard that's potentially up until Christmas. So it's not looking great on the goalkeeper front, although that is why Rory Watson's come in. As we've said, it's just a temporary contract. I would guess we will hear maybe something this week, next week, about a permanent signing as a backup goalkeeper. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. And finally, on injury watch, Tom O'Connor. So in the game yesterday, which we'll talk about a little bit more in depth shortly, Tom went off after 22 minutes.
Yep.
He hasn't had a decent run in the team, to be honest, has he? He sort of came in, played a little bit. He had a cast on his arm, I think, when he started playing.
Yep.
And then he got injured, and then we didn't see him again. And then we saw him again, but not in midfield, but playing as part of the back three, like in the FA Trophy final. He was playing in defence, which is a little bit strange. I'll be honest, in the friendlies, he looked decent. He looked really good, so I am disappointed. I haven't heard anything else as yet, as of time of recording. We just have to wait and see, I suppose. But at the moment, that's where we're at.
Mm.
Yeah. Moving on from the sad news, we'll try and do some happier news now. So this week, we had a reserve team announced, didn't we?
Yes.
Now, the importance of it, what's the importance of a reserve team for you? What can you see the benefits of that?
Well, if any of our, ace players get injured, then we've got the reserve team to kind of step in and.
Yeah, I think where a reserve team helps, and it's good that we've got one. Is we've got quite a few young players around the squad now. We talked about Kai Evans last week; looked great. Is he going to get much game time? Probably not. He wasn't in the matchday squad yesterday. So it's good for people like him to get regular weekly games.
Keep their fitness up and their sharpness up.
Yeah, exactly. So, get their conditioning right. They're playing weekly games, competitive games as well, not just knockabouts.
Yep.
It's brilliant for young players coming through. Players coming back from injury. Reserve team is great for that as well. And also you've got people that are just out the squad. So like people, if you think about sort of Dior Angus, for example, he wasn't on the bench yesterday.
Nope.
He's a perfect candidate for a reserve team. Ultimately, he's going to get, and if he ever needs to step up to that first team, bang, he's there.
He's ready
fit
to go. And
he's ready to go. So yeah, that's great news. Some more good news as well, I know. We've had a transfer window dispensation.
See, I don't know what this means.
Right. So to run through it briefly, we are governed by the FA of Wales rules, even though we play in an English league. Now, what that means is Premier League clubs, for example, they have a transfer window.
Yep.
That transfer window closes at the start of September.
Right.
And doesn't reopen until the start of January for a month.
Right.
And then closes again. Everyone in the National League can sign players whenever they want, all the way up until March. Because we are FA of Wales, we are governed by the same rules as the Premier League clubs. We've got a window.
Okay.
And we have to sign players in that. Now that's been a huge disadvantage.
Is that just purely for Wrexham?
Yes. We're the only team in the league.
Right.
Stupid. Yes.
Okay.
But because we're Welsh, we're governed by these different rules.
Okay.
So what the club have done, amazingly, this week, they've written to sort of FIFA and they've asked for dispensation. And what that means is they've granted it. And what that means is we can now sign players whenever we want, all the way up until March. And we're not hindered by that window.
Right, okay.
Now, ultimately, it's just a dispensation at the moment. So for this season, we're the same as everybody else. Okay. That isn't a rule change as yet, but I think now we've got this dispensation. They will look into it for future seasons, and I think we're good to go on that one. And I think we're good. So that's great work by the club as well. Whoever was in charge of sorting that out, that's brilliant, because the worry is, obviously we've got two goalkeepers on the medical
off on sick
at the moment.
So
if that was to that was to happen in October, it's nice to know we can just go out there and sign somebody now, which is great news.
So moving on, scoreboard update. So we mentioned this last week. We had a few people on Twitter posting pictures of their restricted view, which not great. They didn't really. It was a very restricted view. They actually couldn't see the goal.
No.
Where the old cop was.
No.
But they were offered to relocate seats for the game yesterday against Eastleigh. I don't think many of them took that offer up because it was full.
It looked full at the back. I don't think anyone moved, to be honest, unless other people sat in their seats.
Possible.
Why they would, I don't know. No. I don't think anyone moved, to be honest.
But the club have said that a solution has been identified and they haven't released anything yet, but it will be implemented soon. So
I'm guessing it's going to be. I know a little bit about what happened. They did all their due diligence. They planned where the scoreboard was going to go. The scaffolding went up. They went to put it in the exact place they wanted. And as it turns out, it couldn't quite go where they wanted. So they dropped it a couple of feet and then just went, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
And then didn't actually check that the people at the back could see properly.
Which turns out they can't.
Which, as you say, is a bit of a cock-up, really. So I'm assuming the solution is move it.
Yep.
Just move it back up again. Whether they can't, I don't know. But we'll wait and see on that one, I think.
So let's talk ticket information.
Yeah.
So our away game to Chesterfield, we have had tickets released. There, 1,200 tickets have already been sold, completely sold out.
Yeah.
So they've released another 580.
Yes, which is selling well, I believe.
I was going to say I'm sure they'll sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And then we have got the Woking away game, which is on Saturday the 27th of August. And 1,150 tickets went on sale on Thursday.
There's still tickets available at when we're filming this now. You've got to bear in mind we film this on a Sunday and it gets released on a Monday. So don't shoot the messenger if there's no tickets left when this is released.
To be fair, I have seen a lot of people on like the forums and stuff like that saying that they're struggling to get Chesterfield tickets. So whether those 580 tickets have gone,
maybe.
It's possible.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Yes.
Yes.
And so excited to talk about this. The new kit update. Yes. Yesterday, it was so, I can't think of the words. Close.
Yeah.
To us actually getting our new kit or our new shirts in time for the Eastleigh game yesterday.
Yeah.
And when we heard the knock on the door for the delivery,
it was a good moment. It was a good moment. They're nice as well.
Love them.
They're really nice shirts. I would recommend anyone who's umming and ahhing, because I've seen a few people moaning about, oh, it's a bit plain. They're really nice. Trust me, they're really nice. When you get it, I was a little bit, it's just very red. But they're great. They're better than last season's.
And seeing them yesterday in the stands, it was just like a sea of red, and it was really good to see.
Do you know what baffles me though? I placed the order for our shirts at 9:10 or 10 past whenever they were released.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 10 minutes to place the order. Done. So I'm 10 minutes in. But it's the amount of people who've had them delivered before us. I mean, I'm talking days ago. And
2 days after they ordered them, the people were getting them.
And I was like, well, I ordered mine 10 minutes after it was released. It just seemed like they put all the orders into a big vat and go, right, we'll pick you out and they'll deliver that one. It was just a bit weird. And I think I find that with a lot of sort of deliveries and things that come from the club sometimes. It's a little bit weird as to how they prioritise. You think you order 10th, you would get your shirt sent out 10th, but it doesn't really seem to work like that, does it?
No, we don't, No,
but
we got them.
We've got them. They're here. They're wonderful. I ordered the away one as well. That one's really nice as well. Our 10-year-old ordered the third kit. So
He didn't order it. We ordered it.
But he liked that one. That's the one he wanted. So we have the full complement of shirts in this house now. And they're brilliant. Just a quick update on the COP. So the planning permission went in this week, which is great news. I think we've got an estimated completion date of 2025, which seems miles away, but it's really not. It's going to be an extra 5,500 people. Hopefully we're a couple of leagues up by then. We'll have to wait and see, but there's no official date at the moment for a decision from the council on the planning application. As far as I'm aware, everything's been going pretty smoothly with this. They've blocked everything.
I think they'd be stupid to refuse it. If I'm honest.
I think everything's going nicely. There was a very small minority that had objected to it, but I think we're all good at the moment.
Yeah.
So, just one final thing before we move on to talk about the games. I just wanted a quick mention out there to Dragon Chat. Now, anyone who doesn't know what Dragon Chat is, it's something that's run by the club. I had a chat with Steve, who actually runs Dragon Chat, and it's basically, it's around men's mental health. And it's an opportunity, it's a Zoom call every Thursday, and it's an opportunity for men to talk about their mental health. But it's set up in such a great way that it's basically set up in two halves. Two 45-minute halves with a half time. So the first 45 minutes is for men to talk about how they're feeling, any sort of mental health issues that they might be having. They have a little break, which is their half time. And then the second half is just talking about football. So it gives them a chance to do both. You know, it's not completely heavy where they're doing, talking about mental health all the way through. As I said, I had a chat with Steve, who runs it. And it's a great organisation. If you want any more info about it, get in touch with the club. Have a look at the Wrexham AFC page on Facebook. There's always stuff on there about it. As I say, it's a weekly Zoom call. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put some information down in the description so you can see how to get on the Zoom call. A little bit more information about it if you want to do that. Steve also mentioned to me that obviously this is men's mental health. We have a lot of women coming into the club now, more than I've ever seen, I think, to be honest. So Dragon Chat will be sort of moving into doing a women's chat as well. That isn't quite ready to go yet, but that is very close and will be happening very soon. So yeah, we just wanted to give a quick shout out to them because they do they do some great work. So if you ever feel like you need something, in that sort of setting, it's great. And as I say, all the information's down in the description. So that's all the news done. Now we can talk about the game.
The games.
I suppose we better just throw in there, obviously, Carnarvon, Tuesday. Blah, blah, blah. Lost 2-0. Dibble got injured. Yeah.
Elliot looked good.
Apparently, Elliot Lee looked good. On Tuesday.
Which is no surprise.
No surprise after what we saw yesterday. But yeah, we lost 2-0 to Carnarvon. Move on.
Yeah.
So, the game yesterday.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about being there. Again, another Saturday. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it was great. Well, hang on, let's rewind a little bit. It was okay for 70 minutes. It was okay. Yeah, we went 1-0 down. I haven't seen their goal yet, but
sketchy.
A little bit from where we were sitting, it looked like Howard got blocked. Because he was coming for it, he got knocked, and he just sort of did what he could and reached and just palmed it. He just did what he could. The thing that we couldn't tell is whether he ran into his own player or whether it was one of their players that blocked him. So we're a little unsure of that.
I'm sure we'll see it on the highlights.
We will see it on the highlights, which will be released tomorrow. It's one of them. We went 1-0 down. I felt they were very nervy.
Yeah, absolutely.
First game of the season, massive crowd. There was a lot of nerves there.
Yeah.
There was players that looked like they were off their game a little bit. I think Hayden, he looked he's never like that. He's very assured.
Yeah.
Looked nervous, few misplaced passes. He didn't always track his man properly. Mullin, quiet. I
said this last week about the Macclesfield game. I thought he was not himself. Yeah. And again, yesterday.
I think I think with Mullin, what you've got to bear in mind, there's a lot of expectation on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
He's done it once. Last season, it was amazing. And, you know, there is that little bit of pressure. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person who feels loads of pressure, but still, it's there. You know, people expect now. We've had a season of it. We've won it again.
What I felt yesterday was, and with Palmer as well, I thought there was like no control with the ball. I thought it was literally when they were going for, well, there was, but when they were going for a goal, it was literally just like pelt it and see what happened.
Yeah.
Like Mullen and Palmer did that yesterday.
Yeah, and I think Parky's a big one for this measured, calculated build-up. You know, nice and slow. If you can't see a pass, it doesn't matter if you're going to pass it back. Just hold on to the ball, make them chase it. I get that. I do get that. But sometimes you want them to switch it up a little bit and go, right, a bit of urgency, and let's play a couple of quick passes and see where we go.
Yeah.
It's always very measured, and I understand the reason behind it. Make them chase the ball.
Yep.
Make them chase the ball, tire them out. They were a very fit team, Eastleigh, yesterday, they felt like felt like at one point they could chase the ball all day. Yeah, and it wasn't great for the first 70 minutes. We did create some stuff. Finishing wasn't great, but you know, it wasn't a performance where you go, wow, we did great there. Just a quick one on Mr. Invisible again, Jordan Tunnicliffe, we mentioned yesterday.
Yes.
Where is he? I understand he's probably a little bit behind on fitness, but I am surprised that he's not making that squad. He came in and I thought, right, okay, happy for Max to be playing.
Yeah.
But where is the guy? And again, I saw him on pictures. He was there, but he didn't make the squad again. So I think we'll have to watch this space on him.
See, with me, you know me, not a massive fan of change.
No.
So when, like, obviously last season, all the guys that were there, majority of them are still there. Like your McFadzean, Palmer, Mullen, and Young. Obviously, I can't forget Young.
Yeah.
My main man.
Yeah.
But all these new signings that are coming in, you know, like Elliot Lee, for example. Yeah, he did brilliant yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a little bit more than that for me to...
Yeah.
For me not to fall in love, because that's just weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I get that. And you've just touched on it there, so let's talk about it. Elliot Lee yesterday. I mean, for me, I was talking to your brother yesterday, right? For example, because he normally comes to the games, but he's down in Dorset on holiday at the moment. Wherever. He's down somewhere. And what I said about Elliot Lee was it sort of felt like he was a Premier League player who just dropped down to National League for a laugh.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. Because when he came on, he just controlled everything. Literally everything. And I understand the team, that Eastleigh were getting a little bit tired and some space but the space he found was unreal.
His footwork as well was a bit mental.
It was crazy. And it was the space he found in midfield was the thing that got me. We were struggling to penetrate through their midfield. They were quite solid in the middle.
Yep.
And then he was splitting their midfield too, and he was popping in behind, and we were just passing straight through them constantly. And his work off the ball was mental.
Yeah.
It was just like he was just always in the right place. I'm in love with him. I am completely. I just think he's going to be huge. I mean, for somebody to come on for 25 minutes, turn the game on its head, and win man of the match, all in 25 minutes. I mean,
pretty good going.
It says it all, I think. And the only question, if I'm going to throw a question, is fitness. He only played 30 minutes.
Yep.
You know, we were talking that, you know, he's got to be the first name on the team
Was that
sheet.
strategic call, though?
I think it's more a conditioning call.
Okay.
That he's not quite at 90 minutes yet. So let's bring him on if we need him. You know,
which we did.
Which we bloody did.
Turns out we did really need him.
But I, you know, maybe he hasn't got 90 minutes in him yet. But he's certainly got 30 minutes in him, and he was excellent. So I think he's got to start. I just think he's got to start now. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But he is Absolutely, he's different class. He stood out a million miles, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
When he come on, like I said, he just looked like a Premier League player who just dropped down to National League. He just came on and dictated everything. I love him.
Okay. Get a room.
So, standout players for you. Let's put Elliot Lee to one side. We've done the appreciation of Elliot Lee. Standout players for you yesterday.
I'm going to have to say Young again.
Is this going to be a weekly thing of just the
Well,
Luke
if he
Young
carries on the way he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he's just... I just like him. I just think he's a good player.
Yeah.
And
He played well. And like I said to you before, he does all the dirty work.
Yes.
You know, he does all the dirty work and we need him there. And he played very well yesterday. A few players were off their game. New keeper, what do you think?
Do you know what? I had my reservations. And I think after yesterday, I'm kind of on the fence about him at the moment. I'm not all right, yeah, he had loads of like player of the season and stuff like that.
Last season.
Yeah. But I'm still yet to be convinced that he is.
I'm with you. 100%. I'm with you. There was a couple of times, a couple of balls he could have, no pressure he could have caught and he dropped. There's no one around, which is fine. It didn't cause any problems, but let's see how that goes. Again, nerves. First game of the season, first proper game of the season. You want to get off to a good start. Everyone looked a little bit edgy, I think, yesterday. I like Mendy when he come on.
Yeah.
I thought Mendy was good. I think he offers something completely different to Wxmafc. Wxmafc's quite solid. He's solid in that position. He will get forward. He will get back. He knows what he's doing. Mendy's different. He's got more speed. He's got a quicker touch as well. Yep. So,
but again,
new
against old.
Yeah,
it's going to take me some time to.
That's fine. I just think Mendy's going to offer us more going forward than Wxmafc is. Defending, I'm not so sure, but what I noticed with Mendy, he had a very quick touch. So it was touch, gone. Where it was, touch past the player, and then he was gone for the return round them as well. And I think that's what we need. A little bit of pace. Ford was quiet yesterday. Didn't do a lot. He did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Jones ran his socks off again, as per usual. And obviously we've got it about Tom going off.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and hear what happens with that. Question for you is, I thought of this question after about an hour of the game yesterday.
Right.
So I thought I'll put this question in. The answer might have been different if it had stayed as it was, but your expectations were, let's go and win the league, get up to the next league and let's move on. 100%. Like most people. Have your expectations changed after yesterday? Are you a little bit more... I don't know what that is. Have you taken a step back and gone, okay, it might not be as easy this league as we first thought it was going to be?
I think so. I think yesterday was a tough game. I think we were a bit we had a bit preconceived ideas. We've beaten them at home and away.
Yeah. We struggled against them last season though.
We did, but we beat him yesterday.
Yeah.
And 3 points.
I just think you need to wipe your mouth and move on now, don't you? You just go, look, that's...
It's a bizarre saying, but okay.
It is a saying. But you just have to move on, I think.
Yeah.
You've got to move on now and go, look, we've got 3 points. We struggled. I think one thing I noticed, they were massive, Eastleigh. They had some big players. The guy in the middle, he was huge. He looked about 6'5", and he was massive. And we just kept on lumping balls in the box. And they were just clearing them. But we just kept doing it. And I think a little bit more on the floor. And I think we might have got a bit more joy. But we just kept on lumping stuff in. And when they're good in the air. Hayden was struggling to win any headers.
Yeah.
He struggled. And the leap on that guy is immense.
Yeah.
And he struggled to win headers yesterday. He was winning them, but he wasn't winning them by enough to then be able to direct his header properly.
There were a lot, in my opinion, yesterday, there were a lot of dirty players as well. I mean, how many yellow cards were issued yesterday?
Yeah, this is another thing.
Shirt pulling.
Yeah.
Somebody hit Luke Young, but nothing happened with that. I think I'm the only person that saw that.
I think it's something we've got to talk about is time wasting.
Oh my God.
It drove us insane yesterday. And I think we can talk about this hand in hand with the referee, right? Now, notoriously, referees who come to us, for whatever reason, don't like us very much.
Jealousy.
Whatever it is, they don't like us very much and we don't get a lot of decisions. The time wasting yesterday was excruciating.
You could tell by your face.
Oh my God. The thing that got to me is the goalkeeper taking 20 seconds to pop a balloon. And then the ref blows his whistle to tell him to hurry up as he's taking his run up. So he stops taking his run up and goes back and has to do it all over again. It was ridiculous. It killed me yesterday. They were time wasting from the beginning. And it was like they'd come there and gone, if we get a point out of this, we'll take it. And when they went 1-0 up, Jesus Christ, it got worse. But this is where the refs need to be stronger now, because the refs are letting it go. He booked a couple of people for time wasting, but like my dad was sat next to me, and he goes, well, what's that really going to do? Really? Okay, he's time wasted a couple of times.
Yeah,
he's got a booking, right? He's not going to do it again. There's another 10 players on that pitch that are going to do it. I think ultimately, what I'd like to see is them pulling the captains, the ref pulling the captains over and going, right, this has got to stop now. This time wasting is ridiculous. The next person who time wastes
is off.
Well, it's a bit extreme, but I don't know what the answer is. Do you know what I mean? I know we've talked about sin bins in the past and all that, and I'm not a massive fan, but something has to change.
To be fair, Wrexham I don't think we time wasted at all yesterday.
Apart from when we went 2-1 up. And it was just like, and then Mullin went down. That was the best part yesterday. Mullin had cramp, well, supposedly. Yeah. And then we had the ref doing that on his foot, going, you all right, mate, like that. And it's like, what's happening here? And then, it's something's got to change. There is one thing that I've heard that FIFA are looking at. Mm-hmm. I'll ask your opinion on this now. So FIFA are looking at changing a game from 90 minutes to 60 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. But then what will happen is every time the ball goes out of play, the clock stops. Okay. Now, people go 60 minutes. That's ridiculous. The average time of a ball being in play in a game is about 58 to 62 minutes. That's the average time. So you're not losing any game time. But what that eliminates is it eliminates time wasting. So when the ball's out of play, you take as long as you want, because ultimately it's not adding any more time onto the clock.
Yep.
It's an interesting idea. There'll be a lot of purists that will not like it. But I think for us as in Wrexham at the moment, Jesus Christ, I hope they bring that in. Because clubs come to us and they'll just do that from the get-go. They just want to disrupt us, slow us down, and
stop us getting
stop us playing. Yeah. Stop us playing. And it's annoying and it's really frustrating. What do you think about that if we were to reduce a game to 60 minutes?
I would rather they didn't.
Yeah.
Because I just,
a game's 90 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I can see the benefits of it.
If it's going to be beneficial to the game, then great. But if it's not really going to be beneficial,
it's interesting because I'm not sure how it would affect the game.
Honestly. No. So it's one of them, isn't it?
It is. But Elliot Lee's a god. Let's move on.
So's Luton.
So we've got upcoming game. We've got Yeovil, which is next Saturday. So how do we get on against Yeovil last season?
Oh, let's get the stats out.
Let's get the stats.
So currently they are 19th, but I mean, after their first game, it doesn't really matter.
No, they lost to Scunthorpe yesterday.
They did 2-1
in the late game. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
We last played them at home in November last year.
Yes. And
they beat us 2-0.
They do. That's when McAlinden got sent off for that ridiculous fingers across the face. That was. It was poor. Another poor refereeing decision. Let's move on before I get angry.
So the goal scorers for that game was Staunton.
Defender. Who cares?
And a player who's now with Watford.
Yeah.
Low Everton.
I remember him. He got loads of stick from our stand. He did. I think he was like a right wing back. He got loads of stick. I don't know what.
Was I at that game?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't know them.
I don't think he got stick for any particular reason. Just he's there. It's the right wing back gets stick, doesn't he? That's just the way it is in our stand, but there you go.
So Staunton played yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, low Everton, we don't really need to worry about him. He's not with...
I wouldn't worry too much about Staunton, to be honest. He's a defender, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only goal he scored last season was the one he scored against us.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wouldn't worry about him as a goal scorer. He's a bull, he is as well. He's an absolute bull of a defender. Fully shaved head. He looks like... he looks an angry guy, he does. But he's been at a few clubs around National League. He's been like Halifax. I think he's been at Woking. I think he a bit of time maybe at Kingsland. Not sure. But he's always played around the National League. So he knows what it's like to play in the National League. He's developed his game around being in the National League. So he does what he does very well. I'm not worried about him as a goal threat. So. And
when we last played him away was in January of this year.
Huish Park.
And we beat them 2-1.
Oh, there we go. That's good.
But one of the goals was an own goal.
Okay, Mullin scored the other one?
He did.
That's a good guess. Okay, so I'm quietly confident. Our predictions from the week just gone, horrendous. I went for 3-0, you went for 3-2.
I did.
Both wrong.
Completely.
So fine, let's put that to bed. Predictions for the coming Saturday, please.
I'm going to say 2-1 to us.
I'm going to go for 2-0. Okay.
To us, I hope.
Locked in?
Locked in.
It's locked in. Okay.
Moving on swiftly.
Yeah, so I remember the games against them last season. I mean, the one we played at home was a little bit disrupted because McAlinden got sent off before half-time. I think we went ahead in that game, actually, even though I can't remember. But anyway, it was just so disrupted. Them playing with 11 men and us with 10 for so long, we struggled. We beat them away. Let's hope to keep the juggernaut rolling and get a win. Right, so people who've got in touch this week, we asked you to get in touch, and surprisingly, people did get in touch. Red 5, I'm assuming that's not his real name.
I'm guessing not.
But an online name. But he said you should take Sian to a proper away day for the experience.
Absolutely. We've already decided that anyway.
We've got a few away games in the pipeline.
We have.
We've got the Oldham game coming up. We've already booked a hotel for York.
We have.
That's done, so we're ready for that one. I would quite like to go to Boreham Wood because that's by my birthday. So that's on, I think, the 22nd of October. So, yeah, Red 5, whoever you are, we are definitely...
We're on it. We're on it.
We're doing some away days this season, 100%. Pauline got in touch saying that she was at the club shop with her grandkids.
Yep.
Yeah. And Big Phil was there, turned up, and it was on Monday, and he took the kids to meet the new signing.
Who turned out to be Mendy.
It turned out to be Jacob Mendy. The funny thing about this story is when the kids came out saying that they'd met him, they were asked, who is it? And they wouldn't say. Brilliant. They wouldn't say. Because Phil had said, we haven't released this yet, so don't mention it. So they literally would not tell them who it was.
I can guarantee if Alfie was the one that got told that, he would have told the whole world.
He would have spilled the beans straight away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a nice touch as well. I think a lot of the players have got a lot of time, especially for the kids.
Absolutely.
We always see them taking photos. Somebody that I know sent hit their son to a football camp.
Yep.
And there was players there, and they all came down and took the time to take photos with the kids. And I think as a club, we are very good at that. I saw Elliot Lee having pictures taken yesterday.
We need to get down there so we can have our photographs taken with them. I'm being serious.
Okay, we will do that. We also, Kevin Jacko got in touch. He said, good luck, but I feel as if I cheated on my wife if I listened, as I already listened to Rob Ryan Red, and I'm a one podcast man. Now, I did reply to this, and I said there is always room for 2 podcasts in anybody's life. And, you know, I
that
think...
doesn't mean there's room in your life for 2 wives.
No, that is true. But there is definitely room for 2 podcasts. So please, if anyone hasn't listened, that you know hasn't listened, sorry, then get them listening, see what they think. We love the feedback.
Absolutely.
You know, we love feedback. And, you know, if it's something we need to tweak, something we need to change a little bit, you know, we're learning. This is only our 2nd episode, and we love people getting in touch. So remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's quiz time.
Oh, God, I forgot about this bit.
Quiz time! So you did rubbish.
You
You did rubbish last week, didn't you?
Well, I was unprepared.
You're unprepared this week. That's the point of a quiz. You don't know the answers.
I completely forgot about
My
this
God.
bit.
Right. So last week we did songs.
Yep.
This week we are going to do goals. Goal scorers. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So what I looked at is last season, who scored the most goals for us in all competitions. Okay? I'm going to be quite lenient on you. You don't need to give them in order or anything like that. Now, one thing I'm going to be quite mean with, I want our top 5 goal scorers in all competitions. Okay? Number 1 is Paul Mullin. You probably knew that, and that probably would have been a point in the bag. But I dare say everybody knows that. So we're looking for 2 to 6, not number 1. Okay? Now, to give you a little clue, 2nd place got 16 goals. 3rd place, 15 goals. 4th, 7. And joint 5th got 5 each.
So I've got to name 2 people at the end?
Yes, but there's 5 people in total, so a total of 5 points.
Okay.
I don't need to know which one scored how many goals. I just need you to name the goals.
They don't have to be in order?
No, I'm going to be lenient with you this week. That's my leniency. Do you hear that? That's my pen. My pen marking you off.
Very authoritative.
Yeah.
Okay. Palmer.
Correct.
Hayden.
Correct. Remember, people are watching and listening to this. We can't have massive periods of silence.
Oh my God. Young.
No, he didn't score at all last season, but good effort.
McFadzean.
No.
Oh my God. Cleworth.
No.
Oh my Christ.
You can have... you've already had 5 guesses. Technically, we should be stopping there. I'll give you a bonus guess.
McAlinden.
McAlinden! These are awful. You started off so well, and you went awful. Right. So, I said there was 16 goals, 15, 7, 5, and 5. Yeah?
Yes.
16 goals you didn't get. Jordan Davis.
Oh, one of our own.
He is one of our own. 15 goals, Ollie Palmer. You got that one.
Got that one.
7 goals, Aaron Hayden. Well done. Tricky, a little bit tricky, I think. Maybe not. You got that one. And the 2 people with 5 goals, James Jones, Reece Hall-Johnson.
Oh.
So, you got 2 out of 5. Let's look at that as a positive.
Is that the quiz for this week?
That's done. We're done. You got 2 out of 5 this week. So...
Well, it's better than last week when I got a big fat 0.
No, you got 1 for...
Well, no, because you said no.
No, no, the clap was a point.
I don't
The clap was a point.
Okay.
So you got 2 points this week. So we've moved you forward. We've progressed you.
I've learned something.
You've learned.
Well, not really.
You already had the info.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much for tuning in, especially if you tuned in for a 2nd week. You saw this insane babble the 1st week, and you thought, "Oh, we'll tune in for that again." So thank you very much. Welcome if you're brand new. We're really enjoying it, to be fair, aren't we? And we're enjoying the interaction with all the fans as well on social media. It is brilliant. So please,
we haven't been recognised yet, though.
we haven't been recognised. Sitting there yesterday like this, going like that, nothing. But no, thank you very much for tuning in once again this week, and
we'll see you next week.
We will definitely see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.